Anyway, what up, everybody? Welcome back to the Firahs podcast. This is the podcast where I talk my shit. I have a good time. We get into some musical topics and anything in entertainment. And I did promise everybody a special guest for today's episode, but unfortunately, that guest just texted me right now and told me that she just woke up. Cancellation number one. We are not moving forward with that co-host. There is going to be no Firahs, and I'm not saying no names. I ain't that deep. But we will get back into solo dolo episodes again. Don't worry, I do have a guest on Friday. I've got another homeboy that's going to be joining us for another episode. I'll be dropping more next week. Jay will be filming on Friday, and then obviously I've got my man Jordan. Probably film that over the weekend. So I've got a good Monday and Wednesday episodes coming real soon. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. So my big shout out to everybody who's been locking in on the podcast. We've been getting some decent numbers in. It's been doing all right. I see you guys on TikTok as well, doing your thing with the clips, giving me your constructive criticism. I have now learned not to drop a 10-minute video, but to do part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4 in 2-minute formats. So I'm quickly learning. Don't get it. I'm not that old, but I'm not a TikTok head. I was never a Vine head anyways. So all that short form content has never really been something I understood. So bear with me while I'm learning on the go. But we're going to start with performing covers. Now, for a lot of people that don't know what that means, oh no, sorry, I forgot the most important part. Drink of the day. Today we're sipping on Crumpton Oak cider, apple medium cider. Sponsor me, please. It's a pint thing. So yeah, let's spark it up. I'll give you like that dead review that no one cares about. Anyways. Again, I'm lying to you lot, but yeah, I'm just telling you, I just tasted it for the first time. It tastes real nice, it's sweet, it's an apple cider, and I do not care. Now, let's get into that conversation. Performing covers. Performing covers is something that historically within the music industry business has been something that people have done for many, many years. It's always a way to showcase your vocal range and how you can bring something different to a track, or in other words, you can get drunk and do karaoke. I want to talk about this conversation because I have a lot of artists that specifically will send me music. And they're sending me music of covers. Now, I interviewed a woman not long ago who only had covers. Now, to be honest, I only interviewed that girl because I knew her friend, and her friend brought me her. So I was like, alright, I'll interview her. But in reality, like, interviewing people that only have covers out, it's pointless. Like, it's not even your music. Like, I don't really want to. I'm not playing your cover on radio unless it's like an official remix or something, or it's doing very good numbers. If you're getting like 2 million views, I might play it. You know what I mean? But in reality, it's no point. And I want to talk about artists that do a lot of covers but barely bring out their music. Now, one of the myths is people like Justin Bieber, who obviously blew up on early stages of YouTube. I think Usher was the one who signed him at the time when, one of his covers blew up and did a lot of numbers. Great. He signed a contract. We've had several artists that done a lot of redemptions and all that kind of stuff online where they're doing covers, yada, yada. They blew up. Cool, whatever. Sam Ryder, perfect example. Covers, blew up. TikTok I think he blew up more on TikTok. Blew up, signed, yada. Well, actually, to be fair, he blew up on TikTok, but then he did Eurovision. So he didn't just blow up on TikTok and get signed. He blew up, did a competition, then got signed. So his route was a little bit more different in that sense, right? But the myth is that doing covers as a musician makes you a musician. Now, I'm not here to tell you what you should and shouldn't do and how you should get yourself out there musically, but I'll tell you this. I've been around enough execs, I've been around enough A&Rs, and to be honest with you, if you're only doing covers, listen, let me tell you this, right? You can have the best voice in the world, but if you're an artist who are only singing Rihanna hits, that don't mean anything. That just means that you can sing a Rihanna hit. It's not really showcasing you as an artist. In some cases, if you take a song and completely change it into your own song, okay, it'll show you a skill set of what you can do with music. But you have to remember, like, They're looking for artists, bro. We're looking to hear how you feeling on track. Taking somebody else's song and putting your feelings over somebody else's lyrics doesn't make you, or doesn't show you doesn't show who you are as an artist. It kind of just shows that you're able to take a song and put your own spin on it, or in other words, take somebody else's song and bust a karaoke on it. Because if you're just singing flow for flow, verse for verse on somebody else's track, like, at the end of the day, just leave it. Like, don't come to me and tell me, yeah, can I be on radio? That's not how it works. We're not looking for that. Now, you do get artists that can't write. I would personally, I would say I can't write. I don't write my music. I'm more like a freestyler. And if you hear the music that never comes out, they're terrible as hell. Some of the songs that come out still don't mean they're great. They might be okay, but I'm not gonna say my music is good. But I don't write my music, right? So sometimes a freestyle might sound really good, and I just kind of get away with it. But I don't write my music, and if I do kind of write my music, I never stick to what I write, because I can't. I'm one of those people that when I'm recording, I struggle to like focus on my lyrics on my phone. So I'll see a few words, sing along, and then I completely changing the lyrics anyways. It kind of just gives me like a platform to figure out where I want to go with my music, but I don't stick to it. But I guess my point is, you don't have to be able to always write to create good music. Whereas I don't fully understand why a lot of musicians do covers for like 40 years and then drop like one song. Like, I have so many friends that I know that do music, and they'll drop one song, and then for the next 10 years they're doing covers on covers on covers on covers. They're going to do performances and they're not performing their own music. I think that's a bit like, why are you performing somebody else's song on stage? Like, this is your time to shine. This is your time to show who you are as an artist. But instead of doing that, you're performing Rihanna, Beyonce, Adele, Sam Smith, Ed Sheeran. Like, you're doing bare other people's tunes but your own, or even if you even got your own. And then you're like, for me personally, I would rather see artists have their own music, perform their own music, and promote that. Now, I've done a cover. I haven't done a cover because I'm not really covered. I've just used beats and then like it's freestyled over it, whatever, right? I don't be using other artists' lyrics. But that's another thing that's what I think that's the difference between rap and like singers, right? Like, rappers will take a beat, but they'll make their own tune, right? Because you can't use other man's bars, or you can't use other singers' bars because you're not singing, right? So you're rapping your own verse. Whereas singers will just take the song, take the lyrics, and just sing it. And that's cool, but create your own stuff, man. I just think you're a creative, you're in a studio. Why go to a studio to waste all that money that you're spending to sing another person's song and then release it? Do a music video. Why are you doing a music video of another man's song? And then to make it even worse, right, you can't even put it on Spotify or streaming services anyway, so you can't even make no money from it. So you're literally just hoping that YouTube carries that algorithm because the song might be hot at the time. Like, let's just keep covers to TikTok, them TikTok challenges things, yeah, when they say, if I was on this verse. I think that's cool. That's something that I saw come out of lockdown, where I think was it Lewis Capaldi? He had a really good one during lockdown. I know Anne Marie had one during lockdown, and you know that's when I first started seeing it. I don't know who started it, but I know that Lewis kid did one that went really viral during lockdown, and a lot of other artists started following suit. That was cool, and I think that's something that should stick around. It's still going on now. I've actually done one. I've never actually posted it, but I've done one as well. So it's definitely something that I mess with. I like that TikTok little challenge thing. It's a good way to get your name out there as well. Because it does very good views and stuff like that. So I agree with that. But I don't know. Like I was saying, A&Rs and execs don't really care enough about your covers. Because it doesn't really portray who you are as an artist. It portrays that basically, you know what? This is the perfect thing. If you can sing along to other people's lyrics, you're good for like movies. You see them. You see a lot of these movies where artists are singing, like musicals. A lot of them aren't actually singing. It's somebody else that's singing it, and they're just miming it because they can't sing. You're a good acting singer. You can be a vocalist for a movie. Great. Do theatre. Great. Do you know what I'm saying? But if you're going to do your own music, I personally just think you should drop your own music, personally. And I don't think you should be going up to radio stations and telling them, play my song. And it's not even your song. It's another man's song. And it's like, bro, like, it's just long. I'm going to be like, yeah, we got Ed Sheeran, Shape of You. But it's by Stacey. Like, come on, man. I might as well just play Ed Sheeran, Shape of You on a radio station. Do you get what I'm saying? That's my point on performing covers. Again, nothing wrong with it. Each to their own, what you want to do. I mean, you can look at the successes like a Sam Ryder, who in recent times blew up from having an amazing voice, and he does have an amazing voice. You know what? I can't lie. When I was watching the New Year's Eve show, and Sam Ryder goes on stage and performs covers the whole time. Now, that's a testament to an artist that clearly doesn't have enough music. Obviously, he hasn't got enough music out. He has that one song that he dropped after Eurovision. But do you understand that an artist of his caliber, who had a single, I believe the single went top 10 at least. I think it went top 10. I even think it might have been like top 5. He has a single that did very well. Let's just say that. And he gets a big stage and a big platform, and he's performing covers. like, bro, he's doing a karaoke on stage. That's how I saw it. I'm looking at him like, bro, you're doing karaoke on New Year's Eve. I remember I was watching it on New Year's Eve thinking, why is man doing karaoke? Like, bro, I can do that in a nightclub, bro. I can go to a pub. I can go to a bar and do the exact same thing he just did. I don't even need to sound as good as him. I can just do the same thing, because let's say you go to a karaoke night, you got the crowd. You know what I mean? As long as you got the voice, the song on point, every man is probably gonna be drunk and gas with you as well, and get lit, bro. I can do what Sam. He didn't do nothing that I feel like I couldn't do. Normally, when I look at people like Chris Brown, Beyonce, Sam Smith, Ed Sheeran, Adele, whoever, you look at them and you go, damn, I wish I could do that. Like, they got their music, the people are singing along to their music. It's beautiful. Do you get what I'm saying? That's the point I'm getting at. Like, if you're going to do music, do your own music from as early as possible, because if you just start off doing cover, you get lost in the gimmicks of the source of another person's life. You start even sounding like a Rihanna, or you might even start sounding like a Beyonce, or you might sound like an Adele, and you're not really bringing your own flavor to the music. You're now all of a sudden bringing somebody else's flavor to the music that you now start creating, because you've sang so much of somebody else's stuff that you then become that person. Do you know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's my point on performing covers. Let me know, if as an artist, what you think about that. Do you agree what I'm saying or nah? Do you think performing covers is a good way to get your name out there? Because, you know, TikTok would tell you it is. History would tell you it is. But I just feel like if you have your own music at the same time as doing your covers, it might work a little bit better. Drop like 4 or 5 of your own songs, and then maybe 1 cover. Do you know what I'm saying? But I've seen people dropping like 1 song and like 10 covers. I just don't get it. But that is what people want to do in 2023. I was about to say 2022 there. Anyways, man, you know what I'm saying? Before we get into the next topic, we always got to take a little sip. I don't mind this one. I've had it before though, so I don't know why I'm acting like I'm doing another review. I keep doing it. But let's get into it. Sampling music, man. Big topic. It's an interesting one, because I feel like everybody has their own personal opinion on it. Obviously the missus was dropping her little 1-2 piece on it earlier, which is why I made it a conversation for us today. It's interesting, right? Because a lot of people are dropping hits, but the hits are essentially an old song that's been made into a new song, right? We had H do it with Oh Baby, the Ashanti thing. You had Central C do it with what is it, Let Go. Time when you're feeling low. To go. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? That's a tune. I actually love that beat, by the way. That's Let Go, Central C beat. Whew, fire. But yeah, but yeah, the sampling thing. I've heard a lot of. I've actually heard a lot of conversation about people getting absolutely quite upset about the whole sampling thing in music. My personal thing is, it's cool for one or two songs. Now, the problem I'm having with this sampling thing is it's lazy music. A lot of people are being very lazy and doing these sample things, and alternatively, I mean, bloody hell, Tory Lanez dropped a whole EP of just samples. Do you remember that? Are we still allowed to talk about Tory Lanez? RIP to his cancelled career. But are we still allowed to say his name? Let me know. But yeah, Tory Lanez dropped a full-on sampled project with like 10, 15 songs of sampled music. It's lazy, right? Because you can just sing it. You can just sing the hook, or you can do parts of the original song, and that's what everyone's doing. That they're kind of just like taking a song that's already been made, put a little different spin on it, pretty much singing the chorus most of the times, or stealing a lot of the verses. Like it's a lot of it's a lot of taking and just adding a few bits and bobs to it. Like, do you know what I mean? And I think it's interesting because they are doing very well, but the one thing I want to ask, is a song doing well because of the artist or because of the memories the classic gives the artist? Because for me, I don't like H, that baby song, but it's like a modern version, so I don't mind it. Does that make sense? Like when I hear that, oh man, I'm like, yo, and Ashanti is in the song as well. You're like, come on, man, he still has Ashanti in the track. I mean, that song with Tory Lanez and T-Pain, when I can't remember the remix, was it Buy a Drink? Or something. Anyway, they did like a remix, and I was excited to hear T-Pain on the tune more than I was excited to hear Tory Lanez on the song. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you get where I'm going with this? Like, you're enjoying it because it's giving you the memories of the original, but then it's like a modernized version at the same time. So you're kind of go, raw, this is like a 2023 version. Like, oh, you're bopping your head, you're gassed. You get me? So it's one of them kind of situations with that song, which is fairly cool and interesting. I just think artists, if you're gonna do an over sample track, obviously, who was it? What's her name? Can't remember her name, but there was another artist that did like a Mariah Carey sample that did very, 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 very well. Extraordinary. I think it went number one as well. And they had Mariah Carey on a remix. Lotto. She did a Mariah Carey remix. Crazy track. But again, is the song that good, or are we just excited about the memories that the original song gives us? And I think that's a conversation that needs to be had, and I'll make sure we have a full-on debate with that with somebody else as well, because I can't debate on my own lip. You feel me? But I think that's something that should be discussed, because I generally think that for me, that's the reason why the songs do so well. They do so well because we have a memory of the original, and then we kind of just accept the remix or the sampled version of their version of the track. So yeah, I thought that was an interesting conversation, sampling music and just knowing what's going on, because with the successes of the Central C's, the H, the Lados, the Tory Lanez's, it's gonna be a thing that's here to stay for a very, very long period of time. Like, I remember when it was just grabbing a sample, dropping a dope beat, and making a whole new song. But now it's grabbing a sample, grabbing the full-on gone down lyrics so they've got a joint, and then adding bits and bobs to it. Like, it's so lazy. It's lazy music. Like, it's very lazy. Do you know what I mean? They're not doing anything to it, if that makes sense. Like, Central C's Let Go chorus, love the track, but goddamn, it's lazy. Man sang like half of the original chorus. Like, come on, bro. Literally, he sang half of the original chorus. Like, do you know what I mean? But that's my point when I say you're singing along to it because you remember the original. And I think that's why I like the song. I know the original. I'm hearing a new version, and obviously, like, the original isn't really a hip hop song as well. So it's like I get like a new little drill scene. I'm like, ooh, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? So you're getting a bit extra excited as well if you prefer a certain genre to the original as well. So yeah, it kind of works both ways. But shout out to Central C, shout out to H, all the man there that be doing their thing. Yeah. So obviously next topic, but before we get into that topic, it's another little sip. Oh, yeah. But yeah, let's get into the next conversation. Sam Smith, he's back again. For anyone who listens to the last episode regarding, the Sam Smith conversation, after having a little conversation with the missus as well, she gave me a couple of pointers of a couple of things that I may have said that could have been deemed a bit of a misunderstanding from my part, maybe borderline, coming across very wrong. I just wanted to quickly say before I get into that conversation, there was no ill intent in it, obviously. It's a conversation that I want to have further. It's a conversation that I want to understand more. Research obviously has to be done as well in regards to LGBTQ and everything surrounding that culture. So yeah, just wanted to say that. I don't really want to say much more than that. If you haven't heard it and you don't understand what I'm talking about right now, just go take a listen after this. If you do know what I'm talking about, yeah, man, willing to have the conversation. I'm not here to slander anyone, nothing like that. It's not one of them ones. There'll be a lot of slandering, but I'm not out here to slander culture. That's just not what we're about. But obviously, like, if someone's a waste man, we've got to do a thing in it. It's facts. But yeah, Sam Smith's music video, man, it's making the rounds. Everybody's talking about what's the Brad, listen. That music video, it's interesting because I was hearing points from other people. I did do a little Google research quickly about the music video because obviously the attention was given to me by somebody else, and then I didn't really look at it. I watched the video earlier, like this morning, and then I thought I need to find out what's really been said. So Twitter, it's the best place to go find out what's going on. Interestingly, people are talking about video being borderline disrespectful, soft porn, not good for the young kids because it's easily accessible for the kids. Yeah, I personally don't actually have a big problem with the video. Do I think kids should be watching the music video? No, I do not. For anyone wondering what the music video is, I'm going to tell you right now because clearly I didn't write it in my notes. So it's a bit of a sad one. Okay, cool. It's called I'm Not Here to Make Friends. That's the name of the track. So Sounds of I'm Not Here to Make Friends is where the controversy is coming through with the music video. There's a lot of racy scenes. You got him dressed up with his chest is out, but he's got like some little thing covering his nipples. You got like a peeing looking scene where his mouth is out, like Mandem peeing in his mouth. You got Mandem hella naked doing a thing with a booty thing. You get me? You got some little what's that movie called when they're like whipping up the ting in that? But anyway, that movie, is it what's the movie called? This is really bugging me. But it's like a scene where they're like got like whips and shit and looking like they're gonna grind and I don't know, whatever. Like it's mad. I can't lie. The video has a lot of sexual scenes. Yeah, let's just say that. And I personally believe if it was a woman, none of us would care. And if it's a bunch of chicks, none of us would care. I think because Sam Smith isn't the typical sex appeal, we are bashing him for it, or we're not accepting that kind of content from him. And personally, look, I don't care. Like Sam Smith ain't bothering me. So whatever he does, I don't care. It reminds me of Lil Nas X when the whole dancing with the devil, kissing the devil, being too sexual, rat-tat-tat-tat, and did it on the BET Awards. I think it was the BET Awards or one of them award shows. It's another one. Like, I don't care. Do you know what I mean? I mean, he danced naked in that song with Jack Harlow, Lil Nas X, I'm talking about, by the way. And he did that thing with Jack Harlow where he danced naked with Hella Man. Jack Harlow don't care. But a lot of people would say, and I was seeing this a lot, because Jack Harlow's white, he's allowed to do that. If it was a black rapper, it would have been seen that's not cool. So I think we need to, like, hip hop needs to stop being homophobic as well. I just feel like, but we're not talking about Lil Nas X and we're not talking about hip hop and being homophobic, but hip hop in general, stop being homophobic because it's just pointless. We've got gay black rappers, we got lesbian black rappers. We're gonna have trans at some point. We got cross dressing rappers. Like, we're in 2023. If you're not gonna accept it, like, bruh, just jump into another industry at this point. I ain't gonna lie to you, because it's just getting pointless. Like, every day I'm seeing, oh my god, this guy's gay and he's rapping. He shouldn't be rapping. He's gay. Oh, shut up. Like, bro, let the man them do what they gotta do. I don't understand why men who should be very confident in their own skin and what they're into are crying about another man's type or another man's preference. Like, bro, really? In 2023, dog? Come on, man. That is just dead food. Like, you don't even have to be a fan of the music. Don't listen to it. Turn the goddamn TV off. Keep it moving. Go type in 50 Cent if that's what you're after. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. Like, people be acting like they have to watch Lil Nas X. No, you don't. Do your own thing. You get me? But anyways, back to Sam Smith. Again, yeah, the music video is not for kids. Now, that's a side that I definitely agree with. I think that's a bit of a wild video when it comes to the content that kids have access to. Again, I just don't care enough about the video. I don't think the video to me is that deep, because I understand that everybody has a way that they want to show off who they are, whether that's utilizing their body, utilizing their voice, creating an image. It's normal, and it should be normalized. Now, what you put in the content, cool, age restricted shit. Like, because this is the same conversation I was kind of having yesterday when it came to talking about the education system and, you know, what people should be taught and at what age and yada yada yada. It's all debatable, and I genuinely feel like this is another one of those scenarios where YouTube needs to tackle down an age restriction heavy, because we can't sit here and have a conversation about at what age people should be learning about X, Y, and Z, and then explicit content come out. Because let's be real, if Nicki Minaj did that, we're not complaining like that. We might not even age restrict it. It should all be age restricted. Anything that's too sexual or too X-rated, censor that shit. Make sure it's either 21 and over, 18 and over, whatever you want it to be. Because if we can do that shit with alcohol, we can do that shit with cigarettes, we need to be able to do that shit with the internet. Like, it just needs to be something that should be done, bro. It shouldn't be that difficult. Like, we can restrict porn to an extent. Okay, cool, you can find porn. I'm sure kids at 14 watch porn and they can find it, whatever. We know it. Like, if you're out there that think your kid ain't watching porn at 14, you're an idiot. They are. Let's just talk facts. It is what it is. Like, it just happens, right? They just get, it's not hard. Like, you don't have to pay for Pornhub. You don't have, you can just type in hot chick on Google. You can find bad things, bro. The content's there. It's not easy. But YouTube is a website that you sign into, right? Now, parents as well, you lot are another one. Like, if your kid is of a certain age, and again, there's only so much you can hide from kids, so it's not even a parent's fault always anyway. But you got YouTube Kids. Don't be giving your 4-year-old or your 5-year-old the access to the main YouTube. You feel me? They're not smart enough yet, yeah? Give them YouTube Kids and leave them on YouTube Kids, yeah? Don't be like, here's the laptop or here's the tablet, do your thing. Because they will find things they shouldn't find by themselves. Do you get what I'm saying? By accidentally clicking buttons. It just happens. They will be able to figure things out. They'll just do, and they'll end up somewhere they shouldn't end up. So don't be one of them parents that just kind of gives them stuff and let them go do their thing, because believe me, they will do their thing. Buy them a separate tablet that's not yours. That's another one. Listen, don't give them the same thing that you use, because when you do your adult stuff, and then you try to give them my little 2 kids apps, I'm sorry, that doesn't work. They're going to come off it, figure out that, and start clicking another button. This is how it is, right? Get them off, give them a kids thing. I'm sorry, I know it's extra money. Not everyone has money to do that. But unfortunately, if you want them to be using the internet, mate, you just have to give them their own thing and put restrictions on it, because you can restrict their tablet. They might find out how to undo it one day, but for when they can't, restrict it. Simple. And monitor what they're doing. Go check on them every 20 so minutes, 10, 15 minutes. Just make sure that they're, using it the correct way. Because if you're not going to do that as well, then stop complaining. Like, I'm tired of parents complaining about stuff when you're not even trying to prevent it. You're like, oh, why is this on the platform? What have you done to make sure that they can't gain that access? More time, nada. Listen, you can, I'm telling you, this is how simple. You can get a mobile phone contract and put parental guides on that contract before you give the kid the phone. So you can even stop the guy from even being able to type in porn on Google and it comes up. It won't work because you put parental guidance. So there's things you can do to stop kids from actually doing the madness online. But parents are too lazy to either figure that out or do that. But then they'll complain. Stop complaining. If you're not put the measures in place to protect your younger child, stop complaining and let them do what they're going to do, because you clearly don't care enough, but you only care when it suits you. Again, Sam Smith music video, should it be cancelled? No. Should it be age restricted? Yes. Do I care enough? No. And the rest is up to you guys. So yeah, back to another little step. We're going to the next conversation. This one's quite cool, or interesting, should I say, more than cool, but I don't know why I say it like that. But arrdee and H has been a conversation for a while. They're talking about basically arrdee and H only being successful because of the color of their skin, which is white. I'm gonna play the video of the conversation I got it here, just so that you can hear it. I'm going to play it right now, so take a listen to this and let me know how you lot are feeling about it.
Obviously, you and H are both white, yeah? And you lot, I feel like you lot are judged in an urban scene that is predominantly black. Do you feel like, when people say like, oh, because I know that I've seen things like, oh, you only made it, or you only going this far so quick because you're white. How does that actually make you feel? Because I think you're talented. I actually listen to your music. I think it's cold. But how does that actually make you feel? Because I couldn't imagine working so hard, building something, and then someone actually discrediting me because of the colour of my skin.
I think everybody's entitled to their opinion, and they might have gone through an experience where they feel like their brethren's just as hard as me, but because they've come from X, Y, and Z backgrounds, that they haven't made it, and they might feel that that's why I have made it. Obviously, I know that isn't, but they don't know all the hard work I've put in. All they've seen is, have you seen the state of her body? And bang! So to them, it looks like it's come out of nowhere, and it takes 10 years to become an overnight success. And I feel like there's truths and falses to both of it. I feel like in my opinion, I feel like it's definitely harder to break in because you have to get that acceptance from the urban community. That's what rap is. That's where rap comes from. And you have to get London to verify you, and you have to get London to take you into the scene. But also, unfairly as well, that once you're part of labels and this mad industry and all these publishers and all of that, in their head, because they can relate to you more, and I'm from their world.
That's real.
They'll be like, oh yeah, well, he might be easier to work with, and that's not even the case. I've met a bag of rappers that have come from fucked up backgrounds, are some of the nicest people I've ever met, and I've met people from the nicest backgrounds that have got rich fucking white mum and dads and live in a big house on the hills in the country, and they're cunts. So. Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. So that was arrdee giving his little 1-2 pointers. Some of it I agree with, some of it I somewhat don't disagree but agree with. I just want to say this. I like the fact that he talked about he needs to have the cosign from the urban scene, and personally I disagree with that. You don't need a cosign. I think there's so many white rappers that don't necessarily have the black community cosign. They might have a couple, but not that many. But they have perfect example, 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine is a rapper. Okay, maybe you could say he kind of had a black community cosign prior to going to prison and prior to snitching. But his fan base is predominantly Mexican. His fan base is where he's from. H and arrdee will have a huge white fan base. It's white because white people love a rapper who looks like them, and they will support them till the end, regardless if the music is good or trash. You don't actually need the urban coastline. This myth that you need like arrdee literally said, "Oh yeah, London. I need a cosign from London." No, you don't. You only need a cosign from London if you're trying to make music with them. Like, you need a cosign from the rappers if they want to do music with you. But in reality, like, you don't actually need their cosign, because the white people then will give you the cosign for you to go and shine. He obviously made a point to say as well that that people think that because he's white, he might get more opportunities, more label looks, and yada yada yada. And obviously, he explained that he had a lot of issues with whoever, etc., 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 and they weren't really favoring him the way that he might have thought they would have. Fair enough, it's probably true. Obviously, some businesses will have an image that they would rather work with than an image that he's given, which is fair. I won't even disagree with that point. I think that's a very fair point. I do believe that's very factual as well. I just think people like arrdee and H. Well, let me not say H, because I haven't heard him fully speak on it, but arrdee, right? They always will use I need a cosign from you guys to be accepted. I'm like almost like saying, well, because I'm white, right? And because I'm different, I need you to tell me I'm good. And it's like, bro, really? And then because he's talking about, oh yeah, they just heard one song, bang, boom, that means we didn't work hard for it. No one is discrediting the work that you did to get to the position that you're at. Of course you have to work hard, because Russ Millions ain't putting you on a remix if you ain't got a body of work. It's fact. You must have been making some form of noise within your music to end up on a big song and blow up. Of course, no artist just comes out of nowhere. I mean, there are some industry plans, of course, but in reality, we all think that you're putting in some kind of body of work, and you're putting on the work to get to where you want to get to within your music. So that's cool. We understand that. I just think and it's not an arrdee thing, not an H thing. I'm just talking about musicians that are doing this culture vulture thing. What's it? Jessie Nielsen tried to do this whole R&B thing after Little Mix for like 20 billion years, and then now she wants to be black and light skin or whatever people were talking about, right? Because they were saying that she was making her skin look lighter and that or whatever. I don't know whatever the beef was. Yeah, I think people that come from a different culture into a culture sometimes don't do enough research. They sometimes don't know exactly what they're coming into. Now, because when Jessie Nielsen was being questioned for everything, her kind of go-to was, oh, well, I love this music. I grew up to this music. I've always wanted to do this music. And to be honest, that's probably facts. But that doesn't mean you can just come in and do things within our culture and then not do it properly or not understand what you're coming into. A lot of people just don't do enough research, and that's the problem. That's the problem with this with a lot of people that are jumping into different cultures. They're not researching what they're jumping into. They're kind of just jumping into it because they think it's cool. And at the moment, obviously, hip hop is doing very well. R&B always been doing very well, and I think the difference is because when we that's not even going to be fat. I was about to say either. But when black people come in and I believe do I don't know, a more predominantly white genre, Lil Nas X, perfect example, when he came out with what was that song that made him blow up? Old Town Road, that's it. So I gotta sing stuff to remember. When he came up with Old Town Road, yeah, every single person in that scene, in the country scene, said, nope, we don't want him to be a country. No, he's not accepted in our genre. No, he ain't, because he's black, right? He was a black man in another genre that just didn't want to see a black man win in their genre. You see, we love it when people come into our genre. Listen, all you gotta do is go on TikTok. And I'm not saying everybody, by the way. I'm just saying the difference is I just feel like black people just get gassed to see non-black people do what we're so used to seeing, right? So especially with the whole Afrobeat dancing thing popping off on TikTok right now, you see hella like white people, Asian, doing a little, you know what I mean? And we're just there like, damn, these people are blowing up on it. Now, what I think I'm coming at is, and it's the same for black people as well when they jump on other genres, how many of us are actually researching and also understanding what we're doing? Because I'm not saying that the Nas X didn't understand, but let's just talk fact. After that song blew up, he wasn't really trying to go country anymore. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he's done really much country since that time. So it's almost like you've taken a genre and then you've not really done anything or appreciated it a lot afterwards or showing much love. Because I feel like everybody wants to feel like you want to be here. And if you, like, it's like me jumping on Spanish music. I do one Spanish song, make a big hit, and then I never come back to it, never talk about them again, and then I'm done and it's over. And it's like, bro, why don't you just come here, take a hit? Because that was another conversation I saw a lot as well about black people jumping on the Spanish wave, or Drake. Drake's another example. He jumps on every wave for like 5 minutes and then he's gone. Do you know what I mean? I think that's another interesting conversation in regards to jumping in on different cultures. It's all about understanding a culture you're jumping into. Make sure you do the research, make sure you respect the culture as well, and don't come across as like a culture vulture, because, or, you know, culture appreciate, like all of that stuff, man. Like Jessie Nelson, I feel like did the whole thing wrong. She got criticized for jumping on this thing. She then jumps on live and Nicki Minaj to bash her old crew, the little mixed crew, and like, you know, she thought she was gang because she had P Diddy co-sign and thing. Like, bro, like look at Jessie Nelson now. She's all out here dating some black TikToker. Like, career's looking dead. Like, she's not having to date a black dude to kind of emphasize that, yeah, I'm about it. Like, I was always about it, bro. Your ex was like Chris, that dude from Love Island. Like, what's his name? Is it Chris? Chris and Kem, right? Yeah, that Chris dude. Like, come on, man. Like, come on, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she needs to relax. Anyway, she definitely needed to relax a bit. But personally, for me, I've seen Jessie Nelson looking tanned before, so I never actually took it as no blackface stuff or whatever everybody else thought it was going on, right? I never took it as that. It took me a while to kind of to see what other people thought, and then I went, oh yeah, I get what you're saying. She went from thinking she was white to now trying to be black. Okay, cool, whatever. And obviously, if you look at her history, it's not like Zayn Malik. When Zayn Malik was at One Direction, Zayn always spoke on hip-hop, R&B. So when he left, it wasn't no surprise that he wanted to start making more R&B and hip-hop music, because we always knew that anyway. If you lot remember on X Factor, when he basically said he didn't want to dance and they kind of forced him to dance, he couldn't dance. You know, that was one of his big issues. He wasn't into that. Like, he always kind of told us, pop ain't me, bro. And you got to remember as well, they were kind of forced into this group, right? Remember, them man there all came in as individual artists and got put into a group by Simon Cowell to become One Direction. So they were kind of forced into situations that some of these guys, like, look at Harry Styles now, very different to One Direction. Zayn Malik, of course, very different to One Direction. Bro, I don't really know what the rest are doing, to be honest. I mean, you got one guy just getting drunk every single day, dying on camera. I don't know what's going on with him. Bro. What's his name? What's that guy's name that was on Logan Paul podcast, man? That One Direction done. I don't remember, but I ain't even gonna search for it because I don't care enough about One Direction. But you get what I'm saying, right? And wasn't he talking about having the most numbers as well? Like, I got like 1 billion streams. The guy had like 800. He didn't even have 1 billion streams. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. Hey, listen, man. Them One Direction numbers gassed him to the point where I'm not even saying his name, but them One Direction numbers gassed him to the point where he thought he was still doing One Direction numbers. Come on, bro. Don't ever do that to yourself. But anyways, each to their own, as they say in the streets. But yeah. To end on this conversation, RDH, any form of white rapper, listen, as long as you do your research and understand the culture you get into, I don't think there's a problem with you doing what you're doing. I don't generally think you need a cosign from black people to do me. Like, fam, imagine if I said I need a cosign from some white don because I want to do house. Like, come on, man, you don't need cosigns. Like, I think that's just so shallow. Like, just because you want to rap doesn't mean you need a black person to tell you it's okay to carry on rapping. Like, please don't do that. Like, I hate when people start doing that. Like, you don't need it. If you're whack, you're whack. If you're good, you're good. That's just how it is. You don't need cosigns. If you're whack, you're whack. If you're good, you're good. You get me? That's it. Conversation done. If people want to cry about the fact that you're doing better because of your color of your skin, just accept white privilege, bro. Because that's the way the conversation goes. And that's where the conversation ends for me. There's such thing as white privilege, and there's no such thing as nigger privilege. Okay, nigga? If you're white, you're most likely going to get more opportunities than a black man. That's just how life is, and that's where life ends. Don't start complaining about, I need a cosign from Jeffrey from Mitchum. You know, my Jamaican broski. Please allow me to know if I can make some more music. Allow it, man. That's not how it works. Let's stop it. So anyways, that's the end of that conversation. But yeah. Just take another sip. I can't even count. I think it's actually quite nice. Another story, last but not least, I can't believe this conversation has been that long, to be honest. We got Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast helps 1,000 blind people to see properly for the first time. He has obviously over 130 million subscribers on the YouTube platform. And, you know, he gave, I guess, eye surgery, eye treatment to over 1,000 people to cure their blindness. Beautiful scene. I think it's great to see people using their platform, utilizing, you know, the financial power that they have to help others. And I think that's great to see. Not a lot of people nowadays want to help, and the fact that there's somebody out there that's doing that, I think it's dope. Mr. Beast has always been an advocate for helping the poor and needy, or just people in general, or just giving away stuff, you know, in his kind of like power that he has within the industry. I think what he's doing is great. I have no hatred towards it. I love the fact that he's helping others to get an eyesight again, you know, especially if you're blind and you're not being able to see. I don't know if some of those became blind or was always blind, but, you know, if there's somebody out there that was always blind and then suddenly got an eyesight because of Mr. Beast paying for it, I think that's wonderful, man. I think that's great human being. You know, it shows he cares, and he's giving back, you know, because obviously with YouTube, a lot of the people are big because of the people viewing them, people, you know, putting the time and effort to pay for whatever that's merchandise, or, you know, whatever that kind of may or may not be. And it's great to see that they're using that kind of money that they're getting from their fans, or from, you know, advertisements, sponsorships, all of that, etc. To put money back into the communities that they're from, and helping them out. And, you know, for Mr. Beast, I think that's great, and I think that's a great way to end it. You know, for anyone out there that's been listening, if you can help others in any form of way, please do so. You know, if helping doesn't always have to be financial. It can literally be a small thing as, you know, volunteering, things like that. So yeah, if you want to help out, or giving free haircuts if you're a barber, you know, anything really, doesn't have to be financial gain. So yeah, anyone that want to help out in the streets, do your thing, man. Obviously, listen, this be your boy Firahs on the Firahs podcast, you know, where we talk my shit, get my thing out of my chest. Yeah, man, listen, supposed to have a guest for today, but it didn't happen, but, you know, that is whatever. Got a couple of guests coming in, like I said in the earlier in the episode. So stay locked in for that. We're about to get it down into business. So yeah, man, big shout out to everybody that's locked in right now. We'll be back here again on Friday. So yeah, man, enjoy the rest of your week. We out.